Hello, you're welcome. Today we're going to talk about unit trusts. And some of the topics we're going to discuss are: what is a unit trust? Who are the different stakeholders of a unit trust? Why would you consider investing in a unit trust? Who offers these unit trusts? And how would you start investing in a unit trust? And finally, I'll give in my thoughts about a unit trust. If this excites you, you're welcome. I'm called Otim Frederick. So starting off, what is a unit trust? Now, to answer this, we'll answer it with twofold. We'll start with an analogy. Let's say you and your friends, you want to have a branch, a lavish branch, and you probably don't have the money for the branch. You do not know how to prepare all the different dishes, and you cannot manage the kitchen processes in there. You decide to hire a professional who is a chef, and then you also get another person, like maybe your friend, who could probably manage the groceries and the monies that will be needed for this. So such is the idea of a unit trust, where it brings people together. So what is the definition of a unit trust? I would define it that a unit trust is an investment fund that collects different people. These are investors who pool their money together in one basket, and it is managed by professionals such as who are called fund managers. These fund managers later on invest this money in assets which are regulated by the government, such as stocks, bonds, fixed deposits, and many others. So that is a definition of what a unit trust is. Who are the stakeholders of unit trusts? There are different stakeholders in a unit trust. I would love to break them under four categories. The foundation level, these are the core regulated entities, and the framework level, these are the regulator and the enabler, and in the market context, and other stakeholders. Starting off with the foundation level, there is the investor. This investor, he brings in the money, and he ensures that his money gives him a return, and through capital appreciation and dividends. Then there is the fund manager. The fund manager is to ensure that he invests this money in assets, which include stocks, bonds, and many others. Then there is a trustee. This is a licensed financial institution whose role is to oversee, ensuring that these fund managers are doing what is expected of them, of investing and ensuring they don't disappear or misuse investors' funds. So those are the three stakeholders under the foundation, who are the core regulated entities. Moving to the second entity, which is the framework. These are the regulators and the enablers. They include, we'll bias this in the context of Uganda as a country. So there is one, the Capital Market Authority. This is the regulator. His purpose is in policy and research, ensuring there's an education to the investors. Or products are regulated before they are brought in for investors to buy or sell, and many other roles. So this is the Capital Market Authority, the regulator. Then two, there is the intermediaries and distributors. These are more of the sales layer. They are responsible for just sales and marketing, and this could be the internal teams of investment companies, insurance companies, banks. There are different branches all over the country. So their role is ensuring that they bridge. They're more like a link between the fund, the unit trust fund, and the investors, and they earn a commission fee from this. And the third is a transfer agent and administrator. This is the back office. So ideally what they do, they process your application, they calculate your net asset value, they issue the unit trust certificates, and processing in the dividends. So moving on the market context. So the market context, this is the underlying asset where the fund managers invest. These include government securities such as treasury bills, treasury bonds, listed companies in the Uganda Securities Exchange, for example, MTN, Umeme, Stanbic Bank, British American Tobacco, Uganda Clays, and many others. When you go to the site of the Capital Market Authority, they are listed there. There are over nine companies which are listed there, local companies, and for across borders around 8 mostly, and many others. Corporate bond, this is debt issued by public companies, fixed deposits. So moving to the other stakeholders, these include the Uganda Securities Exchange. They provide the platform where listed securities are provided and the fund managers invest the money in. So there's an auditor. This is an independent firm. They ensure the safety of the funds of investors and just provide a layer of security and safety nets. And then lastly, there is a credit rating agencies. For example, there is the ICRA credit rating agency in Uganda. So why would you consider investing in a unit trust? To answer this, you may look at some of the benefits of unit trust and also the disadvantages of a unit trust. Before we delve into maybe the benefits and the disadvantages of a unit trust, maybe you see a unit trust provides you on an average between 10% to 14% of interest per annum. Which it could look little, but the advantage to this, it protects your money. So doing a rough calculation on this, let's say you have capital, you have some money you put aside of 1 million, and an interest per annum on 1 million is 100,000. At the end of 1 year, you have 100,000. Since the interest is per annum and for a 1 million capital, you get 100,000 and it is paid to you every day. So calculating this amount that you earn every day, let's say there are 365 days in a year, and then we divide 100,000 by 365, we will approximately get around 274 shillings each day on your 1 million. And this compounds. Let's say when you start today and you invest in 1 million, each and every day that passes, by the end of today, you're earning 274 shillings. Tomorrow, you have 1,274,000 shillings on your account. And the calculation will be based on that, and then it will compound at that. When you look at it only in 1 year, you may think that is little money, and 100,000 surely is little, but what it gives you, it protects your money. You're not going to use it for any other thing. It will just remain there, which is a good thing. But when you expand our horizon and be like, let's look at it in 5 years, maybe 10 years, 15 years, it can be a lot of money. So Albert Einstein said this: I'll paraphrase a little bit. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who does not pays it. So what would be the advantages and disadvantages of a unit trust? There's a low entry barrier. You can start from 10,000 shillings, depending on the fund manager that you're using. For example, Xeno is an investment company. You can start investing with them as low as 10,000 shillings. It is flexible. You save daily or weekly or monthly. There's consistent regular returns, which compounds daily. For given the interest of 10 to 14 or 13% per annum, then you leave it for a long period of time. It's easy access. You can withdraw your money between 3 to 72 hours, and then you get back your money. There's transparency. You can always monitor your money, so it gives you a level of transparency of these operations. There's low risk involved, especially on your capital. Then what could be the disadvantages? The returns are relatively low. There's lack of control. You can't guide on where to invest this money. There could be managerial risk, and there are costs and fees involved. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of doing this. So who offers unit trusts? If I wanted a unit trust right now, where do I start? Literally, you can go to any bank, if it's a commercial bank, and apply for unit trusts. You go open up a central depository account with them, and then there you'll be saying you're opening up an account with the Bank of Uganda, and you follow the procedure. They will be given a form to fill, and you start your journey with unit trusts. That's with the bank. There are insurance companies that offer this. There's ICA, Sanlam, there's UAP, and many others. Then there are investment companies such as Xeno, Cornerstone, and many others. I do not know other investment companies out there. So what is an amount to start? The initial deposit. Some banks offer, you can start with as low as 20,000, such as Stanbic Bank. You can start investing with them in unit trust as low as 20,000 shillings. And you start investing. Thereafter, you keep adding money. Every month that passes, you put in some money, and the money compounds for you. Such other banks, you can start from 100,000, and then they drop it down. Your recurring month that comes, you pay 50,000. Actually, you don't pay, you deposit 50,000, and the money compounds for you, gives you your interest. And most insurance companies, actually, their initial deposit is 100,000. I need to really see if there's others who are having a lower initial deposit than 100,000, and maybe you can start with that. But different companies have their different way of operation. Insurance companies, like I said, Xeno, you can start with them at as low as 10,000 shillings. When you go to Xeno, they are very much flexible. You can visit their website, or you can actually dial a USSD code. The *165 *5 *7#, and it will take you through a process, the onboarding process. First of all, they'll register you as a first-time customer, and then after, they'll ask you the purpose for your investment, your time horizon. After they've gotten that clear, and then they will give you a roadmap on how to do it. You can start saving daily, monthly, or however you wish. Cornerstone, I don't know much about it. So how would you access this thing if you said you want to start investing right now in unit trusts? Well, a lot of these financial institutions have online presence, and you visit their websites or download their applications, and they will guide you. I can link the description to other banks, institutions, to the websites, and you visit. And insurance companies, how you start with them, you reach out to one of their agents, and they will take you through their onboarding process and the different schemes that they offer as regards to unit trust. And also, they have maybe different things that may offer that may actually benefit you in regards to investment, and maybe insurance in other areas as well. And in investment companies such as the ones I've mentioned, such as maybe Xeno, I've looked at Xeno, and actually I opened up an account with them, and really using just an SSD on an MTN line. Actually, the code that I mentioned, it works on an MTN line. If you're on an MTN line, you can dial that code, *165 *5 *7#, and then you start saving with them. Cornerstone, I'm not sure. So what could be my thoughts? So what are my thoughts on a unit trust? I'll answer like this. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years back, but the second best time is to start planting a tree is today. Now, start saving today, and just don't leave your money in the bank, because there will always be monthly fees on it. However, when it is in the bank, move it to a unit trust. seek financial advisor, seek help from a financial advisor to guide you on what is best for you, for your best need right now. And then you move it there and you start earning an interest from the very day that you put in your money instead of a fee being deducted. Another thing to look at is you need to track your expenses that you do. Look at just vaguely, try to track it in an averagely and see your expenses in a month, and then subtract these expenses against your asset value, the income. Subtract these expenses from your income, and to give you a vague idea of how much money you get to keep at the end of 1 month. So when you already have this money, then you can make a better investment decision. Probably you put it in a savings, and maybe you find a way of apportioning it well. Maybe give it to charity, you give some to contribution to a need to a family, to a friends who may be wedding. Yeah, those are my thoughts actually. Now, I do not know if I've tried answering you about unit trust. Thank you very much for watching. If you've come this far, consider liking, sharing this, and please give me your comments, give me your thoughts, and where maybe I've skipped, I can come and do a video on it, on the different things that you've asked.